Hello and welcome to The Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry.
Membership in NATO obligates the members to defend any other member that's attacked. So let's say Montenegro, which joined last year, is attacked. Right. Why should my son go to Montenegro to defend it from attack? Why is that?
I understand what you're saying. I've asked the same question.
Yeah, so Trump has... fuck Trump, whatever. Congress has approved legislation that would prevent any president from withdrawing the United States from NATO without approval from the Senate or an act of Congress. And this was a bipartisan bill that was spearheaded by Democrat Senator Tim Kaine and Marco fucking Rubio, who is a piece of shit, for the record. So this is... Like, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but basically, the Republican Party is preparing for a Trump presidency by blocking Trump from doing things, preemptively. Like, I don't want, that clip was him interviewing with Tucker Carlson, being like, yeah, no, I don't see the point in NATO. I don't want to send Americans to die in defense of countries that aren't America.
But if we get attacked as well, then we get defended. That's the point of NATO.
Yeah. That is the whole point of NATO. But because Trump is in Putin's pocket, Putin doesn't like NATO. Like, Putin is the reason that NATO fucking exists, to protect people from Putin. But Trump is in Putin's pocket. So he's like, no, I don't like NATO. NATO is not good. We don't want to send Americans to die for other people. And this is where I was getting at earlier with the whole Trump is the Neville Chamberlain. The guy that, like, when I was a hardcore right-wing nut job, we derided Neville Chamberlain for, being weak. Like, no, how dare you not stand up to Hitler in the early days? It was clear what Hitler was doing, and you were appeasing him. Well, you know what? It's clear what fucking Putin is doing, and Trump is trying to appease him. He's the Neville Chamberlain. And then he's like, oh, Joe Biden's starting all the wars. It's like, no, Joe Biden's actually standing up to Putin instead of just giving him what he fucking wants.
You know, it's weird. So in the United States, we fetishize the military, right? Mm-hmm. We fetishize the military to a point where it is normal practice for the United States military to fund propaganda pieces that are done by Hollywood. Like, this is a normal, understood thing that happens in America. If you were wondering why there was so much military fetishization in the Transformers movies, that's because they were funded by the U.S. military. So it's funny to me, living in this country and knowing which types of people glorify the military the most, how they're also the ones who would immediately go, at least in Trump's case, no, we don't want to use the stick we've been sharpening for tens of decades. No, bad. Never, ever. Then again, I guess I couldn't expect anything else from Admiral Bonespurs.
Yeah. Yeah, my main point with this one was basically the Republican Party, who is gearing up to support Trump for his fucking presidential run, is, simultaneously, while they are supporting him, they are passing legislation specifically to inhibit him. Because he has come out and been like, I don't see the point in NATO. I don't like NATO. I don't want to do anything with NATO. Oh, the other NATO countries aren't paying as much as the United States, so we shouldn't support them. He's doing exactly what Putin wants. And so now they're like, maybe we should stop him from being able to withdraw from NATO unilaterally.
Maybe it would be a good idea as a just in case, especially because
they're preparing the separation of powers that is supposed to be inherent to the different branches of the United States government. They're trying to build that up in advance of maybe Trump will win again. So let's all just fucking go out and vote not Trump. When I say let's all go, I can't vote because I'm not American. So just vote for fucking Biden. I know he fucking sucks. We don't like Biden. He's milquetoast as fuck. He's way more progressive than we thought he would be originally. But if you want
to talk about weakness in a president personified,
he still fucking sucks. He still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I know the lesser of two evil is a fucking stupid. And this is the thing that I struggle with because V LaBianca, you know V?
Yes.
So they are very much of the I'm not going to vote for Biden just because he's the lesser of two evils thing. Like, they are very much, I will vote for the most progressive candidate ever, no matter what.
Okay.
But also, like, they posted on Twitter about how, like, they recently moved from Texas to Washington. And then on their LinkedIn, the people that were viewing their profile the most worked for the Texas Attorney General's office. So, like, that's fucking terrifying. So you need to vote for not Trump, because if Trump gets in, then the fucking Texas Attorney General might be able to be like, hey, you got a hysterectomy in Washington, you're going to jail now.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm
and I get why you wouldn't want to vote for Biden. I fucking get that. I understand. Biden is milquetoast as fuck. But, like, a little, like, you're not going to, like, with the general population, you are not going to get massive progress in any single election. So the way you get progress is by voting as progressive as you can in the primaries, and then just sucking it up and voting for whatever the Democratic candidate is in the final. Because the reason Biden is more progressive than we thought he was going to be is because he saw how many votes that Bernie got in the primaries. And he's like, oh, I better appeal to these people.
And he wants to keep that pie.
I better appeal to that segment of the population. So I need to be more progressive than I thought I had to be.
It's kind of frustrating, the amount of people who have that particular opinion, because I've stated before, I have a vehement dislike of that particular opinion. I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils when it comes time for the general election. I don't like it because it's an opinion that puts ideals over reality. And yeah. I know it feels infantilizing when I word it that way to some people, but the truth of the matter is,
and, like, I fucking love V. V is amazing, but I strongly disagree with them on this point.
There's a lot of friends of mine who I value their opinions on a lot of things, but if I disagree with them on something, it's also perfectly reasonable. Especially if it's something that, I don't know, could potentially lead to my partner not being able to get her estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my partner's body
and, like,
cannot produce
I said,
hormones. It's actually a survival thing.
V is being actively, like, creeped on by the Texas Attorney General's office.
Yeah?
Because they've been public about their hysterectomy. Like, do we, like, I understand that Joe Biden doesn't do enough for them, but that doesn't mean I want them to be prosecuted for having health care.
The argument that I generally find is when people go, I don't vote for the lesser of two evils in the general election because it sends a message to the Democrats. Yeah, and then we get 4 years of people dying.
No, that's why I say you vote as progressive. You vote as progressive as possible in the primaries, and then you just suck it up and vote for the milquetoast moderate Democratic candidate. And then they will see how many votes that the progressive candidates got in the primaries and be like, oh, I need to be more progressive.
And if you get enough people voting for the progressive, that is
how you send the fucking message.
And if you get enough people voting for the progressive in the primaries where you were supposed to do in the first place, then you get the progressive on the ballot instead. There you go. Motivate, get people to vote in the primaries. There's too many people in the United States that do not vote in their general election and do not vote in the primaries. Mm-hmm. Or they only vote in the general election. They don't vote in local elections, and they don't vote in the primaries.
Yeah, and why the fuck does Iowa get the first caucus thing? Like, why is that even a thing? Fuck Iowa. I know there's like 3 of you that live in Iowa. Thank you for the potatoes. But fuck off. You're that important.
You're thinking Idaho.
No, the Iowa caucus, isn't it Iowa? That gets the first caucus?
No, potatoes. Idaho is potatoes.
What does Iowa do then?
Corn.
Oh. So they're the reason that Doritos exist?
Sure.
Thanks for the Doritos, Iowa. Now vote for the progressives, or caucus for the progressives, because why the fuck do you even do a caucus? That's such stupid.
For the progressives.
Yeah, so I like the word caucus, but like it's such a stupid process. If you're not familiar, the Iowa caucus is basically you get in a high school gymnasium and you go stand with people that agree with you about who the candidate should be. And then when they get eliminated, you go stand with your second favorite or whatever. I don't know. It's a stupid process. It's fuck you, Iowa. Do it later. Let a more important state take the lead there.
Florida?
No.
They're a swing state.
No, they're not. Not anymore.